Welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish on Ravelry, Plurk, and YouTube. This is episode 21, 50 members. Today is Monday, April 1st, 2013. Grab some sticks and string and come sit with me. So how was your week? My week was pretty good. I sustained an injury because I have a mole on the side of my neck that you can't usually see, I don't think. And Mara scraped the top of it off and it got a little bit infected, but it's under control now. That's good. So that's healing. Our Easter was good here. I hid Easter eggs around my house so the kids could find them. And I woke up Sunday morning to, Mom, Dad, there are eggs everywhere. So that was pretty fantastic. Then after Easter eggs and breakfast of eggs, which the children would not eat because my children don't like eggs. They liked dyeing the eggs. That was cool, but they don't eat eggs. They don't like scrambled or hard-boiled. I haven't tried fried, but only because I'm not good at frying eggs. But they don't like eggs. So anyway, we only dyed 5 eggs because that's how many I thought I could eat in 2 days. I can't think of anything else that happened during the week. It's all because of the VKNs. It's because the VKNs know my whole life. So by the time I get here, I'm like, no, I already talked about that like 5 times. I want to say thank you to Lisa, who is Lisa Mary K1 on Ravelry, and the designer behind Extreme Originals on Ravelry. It's the letter X, Extreme, and then -LEE Originals. She gifted me 2 patterns, her patterns. One is the K Peacock, which is a knitted peacock, and the other is Dwendrick the dragon, which is a crocheted dragon. And that's actually perfect because my nephew asked me to make him a new dragon. I made him a dragon last year for his birthday, and he says it's falling apart. So it's not because I didn't construct it well, it's because he loves this dragon. Like half of the photos I've seen of him since his birthday, he's had this dragon. So it's about time to make him a new dragon. And I will be using that pattern, so look for that coming up. Definitely go check out her shop if you like making toys at all, because she has really cute designs. There's a fantastic truck that I am actually really interested in. It's got a lot of detail on it, and I think Gabriel would like it. Anyway, on to the Mom's Day Craft Along. That is still going on. Craft something for a mom. Any Ravelry sanctioned craft will work. It can be a new project or a work in progress. And if you finished it between the 25th of February and the 13th of May 2013, then you can enter it. That means if you just started watching, because I noticed some new viewers, if you just started watching, if you finished it before now but finished it within that time frame, you can put it in. That's totally fine with me. Make sure to tag the project with BPHMOM for Bunnyfish Mom. Okay, I made a few things this week, finished a few things. I made another headband. This one is the same yarn. It's Lion Brand Wool Ease in the colorway Willow, but I used smaller needles. I used US size 9, which I didn't look up the millimeter size on. Sorry, guys. So it's a little bit smaller than mine because I had 5 grams less left over. Like, this was, I don't know, what was it? 45 grams. I think this was 45 grams and I had 40 grams left over, so I went down to a size 9 for this one. By the way, if you are loving the headbands that I made, the pattern is now released. It's called the Blizzard Headband by Jenna Mayer, and it uses bulky weight yarn. And look at this gorgeous button. This was made by a viewer, Gwen, but she made it before I started recording the podcast. We had a trade back in the day. But I think this button looks fantastic on this headband. So this is Mary Lee's headband because last week after she watched the show, she said she wanted one. It's made, it's done. I tried it on, fits pretty well. It doesn't fit very well over the first headband though, because you know that adds a decent amount of bulk. I made another distaff. I made this one for Lisa, the same Lisa who gifted me patterns. And she actually sent me this yarn for my sock yarn blanket, but she saw the distaffs that I made, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. And she liked them and she wants to learn how to spin, so I said I would make her one. And the yarn she had sent me just happened to be what was on my desk. I finished a pair of charity squares, which I, US size 2, 2.75 millimeter needles. I made up the pattern. I finished a pair of charity squares, which I've already sent off to the charity. The pattern is Kiss Fist by Shelby Shea, and I used a US size I hook. Didn't look up the millimeters on that. I would guess a 5.5, but I don't know for sure. And I used Karen 1 pound in Forest Floor and Teal, and then a random white worsted weight acrylic. And what I find most exciting is I finished the leafy socks. Aren't they beauteous? These are the Legolas socks by Claire Ellen. They're from the Fellowship of the Sock book. And let's see if I can show you a little bit better this sock. I guess I could just put it on my foot and hold my foot up in front of the camera because I don't have a problem doing that. So I will. I'm also not wearing socks because I've been waiting to record so I could put these socks on because these are my new, cool, awesome socks and I love them. I made them on US size 1, 2.25 millimeter needles, and I used Madeline Tosh sock in the colorway Lichen. As soon as I get this second sock on, I will show it to you. I think I just put them on the wrong feet, but whatever. They're mirrored, so here's the one. See that leaf pattern going up the side and across the foot? Why, yes, I am awkwardly bendy. And here's the other one. It's the leaf pattern going up the side, and it goes around the back too. So yeah, these are my new socks, and I love them, and I'm excited that I can wear them for the rest of the day now. Yay! Because I finished the socks, I did one square on my sock yarn blanket. I used this yarn. You can actually see, oh no, tricks, you can't see. I thought that you could see, but you can't see the square that I made. But I used this yarn, which was given to me by one of the ladies at my knitting group. Her name is Liesel. And onto my works in progress. There are not very many right now, other than finishing all those things that I've finished during the week. I worked on the Black Thigh Highs, which is the Cinderella's Secret Stockings by Ruth Ramanan, using Knit Picks Stroll in the colorway black, and US 2.75 millimeter needles. This is how far I got. That's where I was last week. I said I wanted to make significant progress, and I think that's pretty significant. That's longer than the length of the leg of a sock that I would make. So to give you an idea of how much more I have to go, I'll match it up with the first sock. So I have basically a sock to go. I'm hoping to get these done in the next week. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm almost done with all of the pattern works so that there's these leg decreases. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, the leg decreases, the shaping. So I'm to the part where I'm like right here. So I'm on the last shaping bit, and then it'll be 4 pattern repeats, 3 or 4 pattern repeats. I don't remember. It's on my page. 3 or 4 pattern repeats, and then I will start the heel and then do the foot, which is pretty short because my sister, she has small feet. So shouldn't be a problem to get these done in the next week, which is good because I really, really, really need to work on the blue ones, which I did not work on this week. Sorry, not so good. My second work in progress is barely a work in progress. I cast on and did 1.5 rounds. But isn't it beautiful? These will someday grow up to be the pucker socks by General Hog Buffer. I'm using, right this moment, Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in Midnight Heather to give you an idea of the color difference between that and the black. There you go. It's super pretty. And I'm using US size 1, 2.25. The pattern calls for 2.5 millimeter needles, but I don't have those. So I'm hoping that they'll fit going down a size. I'd rather go down the size than go up a size. I can always fudge the pattern later. But I'm not making these for me, so I want to make sure that they're pretty close to pattern. I'm making these for Josh, who sent me the yarn. You remember that box of yarn? So it will be these together, these colors. But first I have to get through the cuff. I don't get to add in the fun stripey until the cuff happens. But next week you should be able to see that. I'll probably be working them 2 at a time the whole time. I like to start the cuffs together on socks. Well, you know, cuff down socks, I like to start those together. But sometimes I split depending on the pattern. But I was looking at the pattern and I'm pretty sure it will be easy just to work 2 at a time. Oh, I have a new thing. Do you want to see? Yeah, that's all that I have. That's all that I worked on other than the things that I finished this week. So it's kind of light today on knitting content. Not too bad, but a little bit light. So I got a new thing. This is a bag from Spartacus Dyes. Look at that cute little mascot. Can you see? Did it focus? I don't know. I think it did. So this is a bag. I actually sent Marygale the fabric for this. And here is, it's got a little bead. This is her parachute bag. So it squishes closed like that. I haven't actually used it as the parachute bag because I just had all of my projects in it, so it wouldn't really close. But when she sent it to me, she also sent a little Wolf Farms Torrential Rain thing and a button. It's only my second button, my second podcaster button. And there's super glare. Sorry about that. Oh, that's a little better. Yeah, it's not great, but it's so cute and it matches the tag on the bag. And it's so exciting because it's my first project bag that was supposed to be a project bag. And it's the perfect size. I'm going to show you now. I'm going to talk about the things that I'm going to do this month for Nerd Wars. So I'm going to show you how it all fits. It's perfect. So I'm making these socks, the Josh socks. I'm making these, and I'm going to use them in the Encyclopedia Challenge for Nerd Wars, which is the letter E, Equinox. And these socks are perfect because not only do I think that this is a really springy color, all that green, but the equinox is a balance between light and dark times. So bright and dark. Perfect, right? Yes. Equinox socks for Josh. And then I'm working on black thigh highs. Those are my dissertation, which needs to be done by the 28th of this month. And the blue ones need to be done by the 28th of this month. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. The blue ones don't go in this bag, though. They have their own bag. And then there is a recycling challenge, which is to use leftovers or actually take apart a different project and use that yarn. I used the socks to make pocket socks for my mom. I think I showed those on the podcast. I'll just put in a picture here. So I used this yarn, and this is not a full skein of yarn, but it should be enough to get me a pair of ankle socks, like the kind of thing that you wear to the gym, which is great. I want a pair of those because I'm doing the 5K at the Zombie Knitpocalypse, so I'm not going to want long socks. And I gave away all of my short socks to my best friend, so I need some short gym type socks. So this is going to be them. Recycling challenge. Then there is a Chuck Norris challenge, which, I mean, whatever, kind of over Chuck Norris. I know. Some people are in love. I'm not. But you can use anything about Chuck Norris or anything from the TV shows or the movies to tie it in, or the fun facts list. And I think one of the fun facts is something like they wanted to put his face on Rushmore, but granite isn't hard enough for his beard or something. So I'm sure that I'm saying that wrong, but I have this lovely slate color that I'm going to use to make leg warmers this month. So that fits into that challenge. Babies, they think that it's okay for them to be skipping nap time when I just put them in their rooms for nap time. It's okay. I'll deal with it later. And then the last challenge that I will be crafting for, because I think for the Giving Geeks, well, I'm not sure about Giving Geeks yet. That will be something that the inspiration will hit me later in the month. It always does. So, other than the Giving Geeks, the last thing is the flexible schedule. For one of my projects, I'm going to finish up the graphic infection, which I didn't work on this week. But I think I can have that done next week. We'll see. I'm going to finish up that, and you can do two projects. You can do, they can both be works in progress or stash busters or whatever. So I am going to finish up the graphic infection, and then I'm going to make a pair of socks for Steve using this, and it's going to be the Mary socks from the Fellowship of the Socks book. So yes, that's my plan. Why, yes, I did say I was making 3 pairs of socks this month. You don't do that every month? And a pair of arm warmers? And finish a shawl? And work on another shawl? And finish a pair of thigh highs? You guys don't do that? What? Weird. So anyway, those are all of my Nerd Wars projects, and they all fit in this bag. Yes, I know that the Nutri-Fiber isn't wound into a cake, but there is still room in here so that when it is wound into a cake, it will fit. So all of my Nerd Wars projects, except for my other dissertation piece, fit into this project bag. And it's amazing. Look at that. I love this bag. Honestly, of all the project bags, the parachute bag was the one that I was like, I would think about getting that. I'm not a big bag person, but I really like this bag. And it's My Little Ponytails. if you like My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, don't take this the wrong way. I haven't watched it. Lies. I've watched one episode and I was like, no thank you. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just My Little Ponytails will always be the My Little Pony that I know and love. So this bag, love it. I just knocked stuff off of my desk. It's because my desk is a mess. It's horrible. I really need to clean it, but I don't want to. And I just did a whole bunch of cleaning in the basement, which is where we are. I did that yesterday. You can see that the couch is now over, well, right here. That's our couch. And the TV used to be in a corner over there, but now it's against the wall opposite the couch. It's right here instead of over there. And I moved the toy box to right there-ish. Yeah, right there. And I still have to move the chair next to my desk so that it can actually see the TV. I did that yesterday. That's enough cleaning of the basement for like 2 weeks, right? I think so. I hate cleaning the basement. The main floor, cleaned every day. The kids' bedrooms, cleaned once a week. My bedroom is no man's land because it's impossible to clean without the children getting in there and making more messes. So it doesn't really get cleaned that often. Until I'm like, ugh! And then I clean it. But the basement, I try to clean it every 2 weeks. I just hate doing it. Especially since I only come down to the basement to record my podcast and to hang out in VKNs. And neither of those things are things that I can do while I'm cleaning. So I don't make the mess down here. But I'm the mom and I have to make sure that things get cleaned up. Anyway, that was a lot of bleh. I'm reading this week Insurgent by Veronica Roth. This is the second book in the trilogy that started off with Divergent. And this book starts an hour after Divergent ends, which I really, really like. I appreciate the continuity. Not that I have a problem with series that start, so much later, but I think this is the first time that I've picked up a book and it started an hour later in the characters' lives. So it's really good so far. I'm on page 92 out of a lot. Out of, let's see. Well, this is page 510, so more than 510. It's pretty good. I haven't really been in a reading mood this week. I've been in a, oh my goodness, I need to finish knitting my socks mood. So that's what I did. But I think that I'll be reading a lot more this week. Especially since I'm like doing the cuffs on the socks and doing a lot of cuffs on socks. Those are pretty boring, so I can read and do those at the same time. I finished 3 more podcasts. So that's my list this week. Check out Wolf Farms with Dawn and James. Wolf Farms is actually the maker of the soap sample that I got sent. And it smells really good. But they have a podcast, and it's a knitting podcast. Sometimes there's some spinning, and sometimes there's some crocheting, but mostly it's knitting. And there's also a segment about taking pictures. All sorts of camera-related things, but there have been a couple segments on how to take nice pictures for your Ravelry page and things like that. So definitely worth checking out. They're really, really cute together, and you also get to see their farm animals. Gabriel really, really, really likes when the ducks are on the show. Ducks and chickens. Those are his favorite. No, he kind of liked the turkeys too, but he just called them chickens. They were chicks. Well, they were like baby turkeys, so it's complicated for him. He's still learning. I watched Sort of a Knitter, which is Josh's podcast. Josh, the sock owner, well, the soon-to-be sock owner. The less than a month until he's an owner of socks that I made sock owner. He is very verbose, but not in a bad way. And he is also a designer, so he does some segments on designing shawls specifically. And he has a Stephen West shawl wall, so that's pretty cool if you like to look at Stephen West's pretty things, which I do. I don't actually feel the need to knit most of the Stephen West things, but I think they're pretty. It's just because I don't wear a lot of shawls yet. I think that's something that needs to change in the near to mid-future because I really like knitting shawls. I just never think to put them on. I think once another one of my hoodies dies, though, I just won't replace it, and then I'll have to have alternate ways of keeping warm. And then the last podcast that I watched is the Hales Knits podcast with Haley, and she's really, really cute. I love Haley. I VKN with both Josh and Haley, and they make my life happy, really. I mean, everybody who I VKN with makes my life happy, but I just should say that they make my life happy. And Haley she has a mixture of episodes. She has some really, really long, like an hour-ish long episodes, but she also has several short episodes, especially the first ones. They're all 10 minutes or under. So check all three of them out and go give them podcasty love. I hope that you had fun in this less than a half hour that we recorded together. And I hope you made something fantastic with your sticks and string. See you next week. Just kidding. I forgot that because I had 50 members, I wanted to do a drawing. So I just pulled up the members list and I will generate the number right now. And the number is 36. Who is number 36? Number 36 is Lisa. What? Tricky fish. It's Lisa. Lisa Mary K1. How exciting. You won some stitch markers that I just made, and they are knit or crochet compatible. I'm going to show you a picture because I'm not really good at holding stitch markers up visibly. So here's your picture. Lisa, you won! Yay! I'm so excited. Well, now I really do hope that everyone has a good rest of the week, and I hope to see you next week. Bye!